Welcome back to another episode of The Real Teachers of Atlanta. I am Nikki.
Joya. Ty.
Ms. Cole.
And today we are talking about homework. Is it necessary for learning or is it an outdated old practice?
Oh, this is going to be real quick, straight to the point.
We got the queens in the house, y'all. Real teachers of Atlanta. We got the queens in the house, y'all.
Give homework.
I like homework.
Outdated.
You need to give homework. Why is it outdated? Let's start from the outdated section.
Well, what's homework? Define that
What's
first.
the percentage of returns you get back from homework?
I
what's the
get
intent
my
for homework?
percentage is high because I give out zeros.
You think these kids scared of a zero?
They may not be, but I put it in the grade book.
Okay.
And I send a communication letter home letting the parent know that they didn't do it. So I put it back on the parents.
So how can you give homework if the home is broken?
Everybody's home not broken.
Not everybody.
Right.
But the majority of them are.
I wouldn't even say it's the
How
majority.
you go to work and get a check if you come from a broken home?
That part.
We got to stop making excuses. That's the problem.
You don't see what I see.
We got to stop making excuses.
Okay.
If we continue to make excuses, we're going to continue to get the same results that we've been getting.
Mm-hmm.
Now the house broken, you can't do homework.
Mm-hmm.
Our house are broken. We got a broke tail if we ain't do no homework.
Amen.
So
Well,
what you saying?
I got better results in my classroom just doing it in the classroom.
I did too.
I stopped doing homework.
I don't give
If you
homework.
have struggling students, there is no way that they can get everything that they need at the school. You have to
In an
have
hour.
some practice at home. That's just the bottom line.
In theory,
Yes.
yes, that is
That's
right.
that's if they commit to doing it at home.
Right.
But see, home is a whole nother animal now because there's a whole lot more distractions at home than it is in school.
Well, we know they're not getting practice at home. We see the results when they come back to the classroom.
Right.
Kids cannot get everything that they need just sitting in the classroom with a 40 or hour long class. That's just unrealistic.
Mhm.
Well,
Agreed.
I don't give homework because we have 90-minute classes. So the way that I structure the class, I am able to differentiate and also satisfy all of the parts of the lesson that my students need.
Okay.
So let's say if there is a group of kids based on their scores, they don't understand. And we like, okay, today we're going to work with group A. This is the lowest group. And
Sure.
then tomorrow we'll work with group B. That's worked. I don't know how well it would work if I gave homework. I haven't tried. I'm not opposed to homework. It's just, I just don't give it. It's just something extra. I think it's just another battle that I have with the students. If what we're doing in class, if you still don't get it, I don't know how much you're going to get at home. To me, that's. I just
feel
don't know
like-
what the. I'm not opposed to it, and I don't.
Yeah,
like it either.
but you know what I think the school system should do? To me, it just is my thinking. How many subjects you have throughout the day? You have math, science, reading,
language
social
arts.
studies, language arts. Okay, so I would say that's about a total of 5 subjects.
Yeah.
Okay, how many days in a week?
5. Never go
Okay,
to school.
so take Monday, math, Tuesday, reading, Wednesday, science. Have it be an all-day session for them. To me, I think they'll get it better if you just do it one class a day and get all that stuff in where they can kind of like absorb the material in versus trying to do all the different subjects throughout the day because this is where the kids are jamming up at. You know, you coming out of math class, then going into reading class, and then come out of reading class, going into history, and then it's like you're trying to jumble all this stuff in your head at the same time.
So kind of like, so when I was in high school, we had like a block schedule where we had our electives every day, but we had like 2 core, and those classes were close to 2 hours long each.
Okay, then you.
And we had, and they would rotate, and then Fridays were kind of like you'd have all your classes, but they were abbreviated. And so Fridays would be like you'd have a quiz. Like Fridays were not necessarily instruction. They were kind of like
a
show
study
your
hall,
mastery.
yeah.
Yeah. But for each class you would have and we did have a study hall. So we had a full day of class, but to Coleman's point, we had time to sit in that class and take in what we needed, but we could do stuff like go to that teacher's desk and ask a question, and the teacher had time to answer us. We didn't have the internet either, Like, you know, we had time, but we did go to computer lab. Everybody had a time slot. Like, you could get a pass to go. And then you had one of your classes was in a computer lab, or sometimes your study hall was in the computer lab. So you had access to it, even if you didn't have internet at home. You had access to it at school, to a computer. And we had more, I feel like we had more free time too. And but we still had homework, but I felt like we didn't have as much to do because we had time to take it in, and homework was easier because I could ask my questions at school. So I feel like maybe kind of what you're saying is I'm not giving homework, but your kids are also getting what they need because you have a lot more time.
Yes.
In some cases, like where we've been in school where you get
50 minutes.
50 minutes.
So yes, you would need to
homework. Yeah.
Yeah, because you just don't have the
Joel,
time.
let me ask you this. You're a science teacher. When was the last time your students did a project at home? Exactly. Took too long to think.
No, they did. It was when they built the astronaut suit.
So they did it at school or at home?
They did both. So they worked on it at home because they were really anxious to get it done, which I was really surprised about. But they were like, "Oh, can I work on it at home?" So I said, "Okay, well, since you're in a group, you work on this piece. You do the research part. You do the drawing." So they all worked on it at home. Because
there was a time when we did projects at home.
Yes.
There's no social study projects.
Right.
Now, at some schools, there's no social study projects to go on home. There's no science projects. These are the times that you bond with your parents.
Right.
So regardless of whether you're spending an hour block, a 50, 40-minute block, there has to be some legwork that the parents are doing at home.
Right.
Now, we're in 2024. We're not back in the day. See, and that's the problem. Like, we changing up so much stuff, and it's not being effective. Okay, y'all say don't get no homework. These kids are struggling in reading and math. You're telling me there's no IXL, there's nothing going home to gain some to bridge the gap.
Now I will say
in these struggling subjects.
See, my kids bring home, even now, my middle school and my high schooler both bring home homework. My son, he's in middle school. He does have IXL. He has reading stuff he has to do. And he does bring me like worksheets that have very challenging problems on them. And we'll sit there and he'll be like, okay, but my requirement is you need to have tried. Don't come ask me for the answer. You have to have tried. So he will try and he'll get to the point where he's like, okay, I don't know. And then we'll sit together and we'll work through it together. And you're right. Those are moments for us to bond. One, it's a good refresher for me because how long has it been since I've looked at some of this stuff? But then two, he knows he can come trust mommy. Two, I'm putting it off on him, that thinking. So he's tried it and he knows, okay, didn't do this right, whatever. But he does have homework that is required every night, except for on Fridays. They don't have homework on Fridays.
So when I was growing up, I remember when I was in middle school, like most middle schoolers, you're kind of unorganized, right? So whenever I would bring my homework home, it was either my mother or father helping me with my homework. And they would say, okay, Joy, where's your homework? And I would say, I forgot the book at home. I mean, at the school in my locker. So I would say after about 3 days of that, my mom said, all right, bring every single book that you have from the school home.
Yep.
That type of parenting is not what we are experiencing today.
True.
Parents, there is no parent-teacher, let's help this child become successful. It is all on the parent. And like I said, the last episodes, I am not your parent. I'm your teacher. So whatever work you do at home, whether that's reading, that's studying, I always push my students to always review your notes with your parent. You all can sit down, you can read, find a science article, write about it, bring it back for extra credit, whatever. But there needs to be some type of legwork that the parents are doing because the parents have completely taken their hands off of their children. And they are suffering in the areas of math, reading, creative thinking, critical thinking. They are void of any type of education when they've been in school, which is strange. They're going to school every day, but it's as if they're not even nothing.
They're not retaining anything.
But a lot of the parents look at the work that has to be done. They can't do it neither.
Well, I've had a parent say to me, I don't help such and such with her homework because she's at school. But then again, this is a straight A student. So what works for this student may not work for the other student, but she could do that with her child because we're talking about a straight A student.
Right.
Lil John over here struggling real bad. He needs help at home because I cannot give him everything that he needs unless he's with me the whole entire day.
And then some parents, I have a student. I had a student. I asked him, I said, hey, can your mom help you with this? And then he was like, well, my mom has younger kids, so she can't help me. I said, well, I know that if you asked your mother to help you, she would help you. So the next day I said, okay, well, what did you and your mom work on? Oh, she had to help my little sister and brother. She just couldn't help me. So there are also situations where parents have so many children, they can't help every single child. And, that's a decision that adults make when they have lots of children. Unfortunately, there's not all the time a father in the household, grandmother, how people grew up. There was a village. You had people to kind of help you. But then again, you have some parents that work, some parents that, I don't know. And then you have some parents like, I have 5 kids. I'm checking everybody's homework tonight.
And then you got some parents that act like the homework too hard.
So let me tell you, I'm glad you said that.
They ain't acting.
They're not acting, but this is the thing. So when I was teaching math,
Wait a minute. Before you at that point, and you got the parents that's doing some homework.
and getting it wrong. We won't go there.
And be wrong.
Right. But I used to, when we would get ready to start a new unit, I would go and find all the prerequisite stuff that parents would need to know. And the students would need to have, you need to be able to master. If you have mastered this, but I did it. Every unit. I got the videos, I organized them, sent it.
Who doing
links. I did it. I'm just saying this is what I did because I knew I was going to give homework. And I would send it to them.
And
I would
still went to the count on you.
I was still she still did. But that's okay. I said, hey, your kid needs this is what your child should already know. Before we start this unit, you need to know how to do all these things. This is what they should have mastered. So that when we do this, we'll be good. Them parents would be like, y'all are learning this? No. We already should know these things. Like I had parents who would email back and say stuff like, this is what they're learning? No.
So you send it to, there's too many steps.
I was trying to give it to the parents and I would
can't send me a whole bunch of stuff.
No. It was one email and it was really organized. It was one email with one document attached. When you open the document, at the top it said, this is what your child's going to be, this is what our unit is about. These are the prerequisite things that your child should know how to do. And it'll be maybe 4 things. So I would send them links to the videos to teach them how to do it. So if your child was struggling with something, you already at the start of the unit had what you needed to support your child. And the parents would then turn around and ask me, I had it happen multiple times. Are you learning the stuff in these videos? And I would explain again, no. You and your child should know how to multiply decimals. This is not a new concept. This is something you should be able to do. So oh Lord.
That's aggressive teaching.
But I'm trying to put you in a position that you can help your child because I knew, and I was sending in both languages.
I'm just saying, for me, if I got an email from a teacher showing me how to do an assignment, spam. But then you can't. My thing was, the thing I felt like I was doing was taking away your ability to say, oh, I can't help little Susie Q with her homework. But like, no, ma'am, because if nothing else, you got these videos to rely on. I already gave you the tools. Yeah, I was giving it to you up front.
And did they do it?
I did have parents, a lot of now, the majority that spoke to me did say, yes, it was helpful. It was good to know what they should already know. So whenever their students had questions, they could. But truly, out of 140, 150 students, that's still, it still really wasn't as many as should have had said something.
Well,
but the ones complaining, that used to throw me off.
Well, you can only do so much.
But that's what I'm saying. That was a lot to do for them still to be like.
That's too much.
I just stopped doing homework because I got aggravated. Where your homework at?
Man, that part. Printing off them. My son had a teacher send home the homework and put a QR code on it.
Let's go ahead and let's go over it right now. I mean, that's what I did. We just go right there because it got to the point, these kids ain't doing homework at home.
No.
Ain't doing nothing at home.
They're going
Do you
to
think
football
it's helpful
practice.
though? So at the end
They're
of the
going
day,
to go to football practice.
Right.
And
Which is homework
then the
to
excuse
me.
after that, Miss Coleman, I was tired after practice, man. I got home, man.
And that's
ate,
why I'm saying priorities. You on the
but
football team,
but
you
they don't
can't
know
read.
I hang on the same corners they hang on. I'm looking at them out there in the streets just like I am.
But even if you go to the league, you got to be able to count your money. You got to be able to read your
Oh,
contract.
they're
You
gonna
gotta
count,
work
count
out.
that money now because see the rappers are teaching them that.
Racks
1,
on
2,
racks.
3, 4, 5
Racks on
yes,
racks
and my bank
and all that
account.
INDEPEN. You know they learn how to spell a little bit too. You know.
Okay, then
Yeah.
it's still in.
Yeah, you know,
Yup.
that's what they learn from. That's their idols.
Hooked on phonics.
That's why
Rapper
I
style.
kind of like in my classroom, I kind of represented that in somewhat a way. That was my unique way of teaching. I would use the artists that they were familiar with, and I would teach in that direction. You know, but you know, it got me fired. So, what you know? What
What
can
you
you
know
do?
about that?
But you know, you try to do your best. You know, I mean, I was just trying to find ways to get the students to
They want us to relate. They
relate
just don't want us to
and
relate.
learn it better. And to me, they were getting it.
They
But
were.
if I just come out with the plain Jane concept, you know, when this step, go to this step, and that step, and that step, you know, they just didn't get it. But then if I come like the other way with something they can relate to,
Yeah.
they got it. But at the same time, I just have a hard time trying to keep it clean. I couldn't keep it clean. I just kept it real. And kept keeping it real is what, you know, a lot of students liked it, you know. And
Yeah.
then you got some students, you know, well, let me go and put the recorder on and get them out of here. We can't do this. I'm going to tell you what it is. I don't
It's
give
always
two fucks
one.
about what's going on with that no
It's
more.
always
I don't care. But it's still, that's what it was. But my thing was, I knew I had a heart for the kids. I knew I did.
Yeah, you did.
But I didn't want to, you know, I wasn't trying to contaminate them because I felt like they were contaminated already when they come into school already. Because
They
they was
sure
already
did.
talking more shit than what I was talking already. So they was already understanding what I was saying already,
Yes.
and they related to it, and it gave us a better relationship for them to have access to learning at the same time. But you know, but the system's not going to see that, and I feel that way strongly. Professionalism is not going to get the job done, and I'm gonna still say that to the day I die. It ain't gonna work. Not in today's society with these kids now, it's not gonna work.
So
if you
we
ain't
live
coming in talking to something that they can relate to, that they know about, and keeping it real at the same time, they ain't trying to hear you.
So are we allowing the children to run us, or we running the children?
I'm not saying allowing the
Because-
kids to run us, I mean, but if they're more concerned about getting these kids to learn, then we need to find another strategy to get them to learn, you know. But that's why they sit down and have these meetings. So we're trying to find strategies and all this other bullshit they come up with, coming down from the county telling you, you got to do it this way and then do it this certain way for this child to learn. Ain't gonna happen that way because school to me is only designed to pull out the elite of children. That's it. Rest of them is just scraped away into
That's
the
right.
trash and just go wherever the fuck they go.
That's
That's
the
it.
truth.
So that's where
That's the truth.
I saw that, and that's why I try to fall in place and try to bring that thing together. Hell, we're going to pull these kids that down to and bring them back up because, you know, hey, Obama said it, no child left behind.
Well,
And that's the way I saw it.
every child will succeed.
Every child will succeed.
Yeah, they will succeed in their own unique
That's
way.
Obama.
Yeah.
But we look at kids, you know, not being, you know, the elite or the smart. But when you look at these billionaires, you got Bill Gates, you got, you know, Dr. Seuss. These were, you know, the most elite kids at school, and they still was able to manage to make it.
Did you know that most billionaires become billionaires by luck?
Absolutely.
No, most billionaires become billionaires by hard work.
Mm-hmm. Hard work, but there's luck in there too.
The thing is
Well,
that
I ain't
I'll
looked
show-
up.
I'll show
When
you-
my
I'll show
look
you.
gon- When my look gonna show up?
What you talking about?
Well, my thing is that when we talk about elite, educationally being elite, I feel like everybody doesn't need to, being a billionaire doesn't make you educationally elite. That's just money. But I'm saying everybody is not,
Just money.
but I'm saying
It gives
that's
you
not in your,
access to
yes, it gives you,
resources.
your intelligence is what's going to give you that option.
People listen to billionaires. Because
Yes,
they look
true.
at where they're,
But-
because it's like
but every
it's like
billionaire
a
is not-
a
every
position
billionaire
that's
don't
bought.
have a
Let me tell you
doctorate.
something.
Every billionaire is not
Billionaires
educationally
have
sound.
smart people around
Around
them.
them.
Y'all
Thank you.
acting like you don't know business one on one.
But that's
You
my
really are,
but
yeah.
that is my point is the people around billionaires are not always billionaires themselves. They're just the smart people.
What?
They pay them to manage their money.
What?
No, what I'm saying is if I'm a billionaire, the people who working for me ain't billionaires.
She
I'm not
making
paying
sense.
them
Just
that
give it
kind of
time.
money.
Just
Well,
give it
that's
time.
what we
She gonna make
talk-
sense
But
in a
what
minute.
I'm saying is,
That's what we talking
so
about.
saying that you are educationally elite does
I
not
know
make
so.
you a billionaire. That was my point. It's not. That does not say, okay, if you're a smart person, you're gonna make a lot of money. That doesn't always equate.
I
But
didn't say that.
no. But that's what I'm saying is you have to
Because
are
for
smart.
me, I
think the
believe
billionaire did their homework?
anything comes with practice. You
no,
gotta work hard.
I think they paid the kid next to them that was smarter than them to do their homework.
Okay, that's a
That
point.
could be.
That's
Very-
in my mind. The billionaire ain't the most brilliant
That's a
person.
business.
That's why I rich.
That's
I
a
skipped school
billionaire
on
know
test
how
day.
to make business moves.
There
A
you go.
billionaire is a smart person because they got the smart people around them doing the job
Doing the
that they
job
don't
for
have
them.
to do. They
Right.
delegate. They
But
are
what I'm
smart.
saying
That's
is,
that hustle.
but that's what it is. But we don't teach hustle.
I did.
But I'm saying in curriculum, we don't have a hustle 101.
Oh,
We got math, science,
I
social
solely
studies,
taught hustle in my
language arts,
You
classroom.
got
and then
to be
PE.
able to have common sense and be a critical thinker to be a
Correct.
hustler.
Things that we do not teach in school.
You gotta be innovative as well. Think outside of the box.
Correct.
Maybe cutthroat sometimes.
You got to, and I don't disagree
Well,
with that.
everybody's not gonna be a billionaire.
And there you go.
Everybody's not gonna be a millionaire.
But when
Because
you
the poor will be
Everybody's
amongst
not
you.
gonna be innovative.
It's in their holy word.
There's a place.
shut it down.
What?
It's in their holy word. The poor will be amongst you. No, so we're going to always have poor people around.
You are, but
It's in the
but
word.
when we talk about that's what I'm saying. I guess we just in my mind we're saying kind of the same thing, but the same kids are trying to pull out the educationally elite. Like to your point, yeah, there's gonna be kids that that's not what they're gonna do. But what does that look like? What is educationally elite? What are the super smart kids? What are the kids that are giving us opportunities?
Oh, those
you see what I'm
those can
saying?
be-
They're still there.
Yeah,
amongst
there's a
you.
population of kids that could be workers,
Sure.
entrepreneurs,
There you go.
criminals,
That too.
singers,
And then
dancers,
criminals might
lawyers.
be entrepreneurs.
There's a place for everybody.
And
I
there
don't
you go.
think certain billionaires are the smart crew. I think people that are creators, that are innovative, are the people that, like you said, think outside the box. That really have imaginative
Yes.
mind, like your Walt Disney's, your Marx.
Dr. Seuss and all.
Even our people that created the
Oh, the
the
inventions.
maps, the
Yes.
maps, the heart implants, the lights. Just a list of everything. Just
All the black
can go
inventions.
so on. Those are the ones that I feel like were the smart people.
Yes, but not. And what I'm saying is, on paper, they're not always those that we consider
But
educationally elite.
Yeah, but they
so
did
I feel like
homework.
But these
there
are-
you go. They did their research.
They
They
did-
spent their
exactly.
time figuring it out.
They went
their
home,
homework.
they studied, and you with anything you got to work hard. Just
There
like
you
you're
go.
trying your new venture, right?
Mhm.
You are doing your homework.
Boy, that's why I'm tired right now. But I'm doing
But
it though. I
that's-
can't even sleep till this thing come together.
Excuse,
Okay,
and
that's
that's
right.
the point I'm
There
trying
you
to
go. Gotta want
make.
that there.
Kids have to do their homework so they can get better at this
But see,
thing.
here's the
not
thing,
blind
Miss Lady.
connection.
The kids don't want to do this shit. They don't care
And that's
about.
why
Because
we
it
They
got-
don't
doesn't
care about this
align.
stuff.
It doesn't align to what they
It doesn't
wanna
align
do.
to whatever the universe has put into them.
That's
You
That's
have to
not the
find that
thing.
what's going to align with
That's-
them, and that's going to
No
give them a passion to
universe
do it.
put that into them.
Well,
But it ain't nothing to do this.
But even with me, with
No,
my
but
new
I'm
adventure,
saying-
that it's something that's aligned within me that I like it. It's like I can't even sleep now because it's like I can't even rest until I put this thing together because I know it's
you
in me. It's got to
are
come out.
birthing a baby.
Right,
And
it's
a new
birthing out.
business.
But the same thing with the students. You can't tell me now, even if I was a student, to say, hey, I want you to go here, man. I want you to go here and write a book. No, that ain't going to happen.
Them
I'm not
papers
gonna go in there and write in the
kill.
book because I don't have no passion for that kind of stuff
That's
right there.
it.
Just to make me do it and tell me to go home and put these words together on pages and several pages, it's not gonna happen. And the same thing with these kids right now. These kids are not feeling these subjects that we're teaching in the
It's boring.
classroom. They don't want to hear that right now.
Boredom is the operative word. Kids have to be bored. If you want to be anything in life, you have to be bored. You may get up at 5 a.m. to maybe run around the track. You may have to do workouts that you don't necessarily want to do. You may have to run and do scales. You may have to do monologues. You may have to do point class. You may have to do jazz and ballet class. There are things
Let's go,
that you
Joy.
have to do that you don't necessarily want to do.
Want to
And
do.
homework is going to build that muscle of boredom, of not wanting to do it.
That's
Who's
what
gonna make them do it?
Homework.
But see, and those are those kids that are going to get pushed to the wayside because those
Exactly.
billionaires, those millionaires, those singers, those actors, those lawyers have built that muscle of being bored, of doing tedious work that you do not
Want to do.
And
It is
there it is.
boring.
Speak
You're
on it.
going to be lonely doing it by yourself while your friends are out partying, but you have built that muscle of not wanting to do something so long that you have the goal in mind that you have to push through that in order to get to the other side.
Yep.
And it's
Kids
right.
don't want to do that. They don't want to be bored. They always
They
want
wanna
to be
be entertained.
stimulated.
Yep.
The dopamine in their brain has to be firing at all times.
And they burn out.
So
And
those
it's
are the kids that
not
get pushed to the
about
side.
academics if you're smart or low.
Okay.
It's about hard work.
Right. Okay, but let me give
Perseverance.
you a good example, though. I seen a video clip not so long ago of a Chinese father doing homework with his Chinese child.
Because that's what they do.
And that Chinese father, when I say every time that child got it wrong, boom, you hit the table, scared the shit out of him. But that child right there, that child already knew. I better not get this wrong again. But versus come to our culture of people, I need to do, boy, you don't get your ass in there, but get that damn this table and get homework done? Sit on down somewhere. Or go do this here. It's like we have no togetherness in
That's
that part,
fact.
but in their culture, they come together and they train their kids and teach their kids, and that's where their kids are steadily advancing while we are steadily falling down because all we worried about is looking good with the material and trying to have all this money with less work as possible to get it.
The easiest
Exactly.
way.
The easiest way, and look and try to have all the women we can, and that's the stereotype that we're supposed to be having as in our culture to make it look good, versus other cultures are steady advancing way far.
And now y'all got
And that's the truth.
And now
Hey, man, go
now
see what I
they
said,
trying
man. I was trying to
to
put it together.
I
Yeah.
Yes,
You
and now
have
they
to
trying
push
to
your
dismantle
kids.
public
That's
education.
true.
So there's that.
And you, huh?
And now they trying
Oh,
to dismantle public
but that-
education. So
but
now
there's a lot of parents don't do
what
that.
he said, that is facts. We give our kids choices. I have sat in
That's
front
right.
of thousands
Yep.
of Asian kids teaching them.
There you go. Yep.
You understand? I done sat in front of a camera and the baby had a fever, cold, snotty nose. Guess what? He had them headphones on.
Let's go.
don't care.
I wrote a paper one time. I was in middle school, and I worked so hard on this paper, y'all. My mother sat down with that red pen. She got through the first sentence. She said wrong. She balled it up, throw it on the ground. I was like, oh my God. I had to get up and do it again. She read it. Nope. Ball it up, throw it on the ground. We did that for about maybe 2 hours. And that was my life for like 2 or 3 years, where if it's not right, you're going to do it again. And it may sound really harsh. My mother is a best friend of mine. I love her to pieces. But if she didn't have that type of parenting, I don't really know where I would be in my life.
Because it instilled in you.
It
On Camel
instilled
Metropolitan.
it instilled
I'm done.
the desire to not to be perfect, but you have to have hard work. You have to have discipline.
There it is.
And if you don't get it right, the whole paper could be right, y'all. I promise you. If there was one grammatical error, it was a mark. Start over.
I'm with your mama.
Start
And
over.
see,
Wait a minute.
Because the expectation that she had of
That's
me
the word.
was up here.
That's the word.
You're not down here.
My mama
That's
was
it.
sitting at the table helping me. You understand? I don't remember getting any help after elementary school. I remember my uncle used to try to help me with math, and we do the spelling. I was big on being in the spelling bee in the elementary school. Came middle school, I didn't need to be told, do your homework. There was an expectation. I knew
I don't
to
say that
do
in
my
house now.
homework.
Let me say this here.
Go ahead.
Coming up, I remember this. Elementary school, mom and dad was together. Come home, my dad was strict when it come to education. I come home, my dad actually sat there and made me sit to the table every day, and I had to learn every word in a thesaurus.
Yep.
He made me do that, and I had to sit there, and I'm gonna tell you, I was the only little kid around there walking around in first grade talking big words.
Right.
But when my mom and dad separated, and my mama moved across town with the other person, okay, all that shit that my daddy was trying to put into me, that was gone. Cause by third grade, in the streets.
In the third grade.
Third grade, I'm telling the true story, cause I remember it. By third grade, I was in the streets. And by the time when the streets got done with me, I ain't know what word was a thesaurus no more. I forgot all about that stuff. That all I knew was shit, goddamn, motherfucker. That's all I knew. Because that's what I was learning out there, after the separation. Because my mom ain't had time. My mom was trying to work to keep the bills
what does
paid.
that show you? The importance of a family.
Of a
unit.
family. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And that's the part that I'm trying to say without saying at the same time, because I don't want people to get offended like I'm trying to put them down. But when you don't have that other half in the house,
that's right.
and you trying to do it all by yourself, it just ain't gonna work, because now you left by yourself trying to do this
Now,
thing.
It makes
I'ma
a
say-
difference.
wait.
It
I'ma
does,
say,
and
hold on, 'cause
it
I'ma
does,
say,
Rose.
no,
It
I'm
does.
gonna say, because I was raised by my mother. My mother was
And
by herself,
I
and
was
we
too.
sat right there. When I tell you, my mother
It
used to
makes a
sit me
difference.
and my brother at that
It
table,
does.
and she came. The thing is, she prioritized
Yeah.
our education. She didn't care nothing about going to date nobody. My dad walked out the door. My biological dad walked out the door and took all the shit he
She
wanted
knew it
to
was
wear.
time for her
She
to
didn't
get
give a
busy.
damn. She sat at that table. I was right here, my brother right here, pull them books out, and the same stuff like that, like your mom was doing, my mom was doing the same stuff.
Right.
Oh, I got trigonometry homework. My mama can't stand no math.
But
to
how
this
many
day,
mamas
but
are they
she-
doing that now?
That's my
That's
point.
the issue.
That's the point I'm trying to
Because
tell you.
single or not, yes, having both parents is beneficial if your parents prioritize your education. You have to instill
That
in your
sound good.
children that this. You have to prioritize
Well,
your
let me tell you.
kids
I'm
over
gonna tell you what these.
yourself,
I'm gonna tell you what
period.
these single mamas doing.
Not prioritizing
When
their
I put the
children.
zero in, the single mamas emailing. Can you send?
No.
What he missing? Can you send? Can you send a list of grades home?
Can you give them some extra credit?
No.
please.
You know what? But my
They
thi-
see the homework, but
Right.
they see that zero clear.
Talking
Listen,
over you.
I don't think it has anything to do with.
Okay.
My thing is, I don't give
I got
that
me a little bit.
excuse. I don't give the excuse of, oh, I'm single.
You have a
because they're
husband.
single. I was a single mom, and I was raised by a single parent. My mom was there.
How long was you a single
Period.
mom?
How long was you
I
single
don't
mom?
remember, but it don't matter.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter.
You know he was
My
teaching that
mother was right here at the table with me. I remember that as a child. Period. My daddy was not there.
My mom was a city girl.
My mom said, my kids before everything.
No, my mom was big on education. She
So
was a
she
single
said-
woman, but at the same time, she wasn't sitting at the table with me.
She-
It was
mine
an
was.
expectation.
My mama was trying.
But my mom-
my mama was trying to get to the highlight.
What the
See,
hell?
I'm just saying. But I don't know what. What is
that?
I don't know.
What does that mean?
You know what the highlight is, Joy?
No.
Boy, who? The dog races and all that? Boy, who? The dog track? Boy, that every weekend, boy, come Friday, I ain't see my mama. Gone. At the highlight.
How old are you in the third grade?
Boy, I was 9.
In the streets.
That's when I lost my virginity. 9 years old.
Oh my
Cut
God.
the show. Cut the show. Dre, we done.
Oh my God. Did he say that?
End
9
it.
years old.
Somebody.
All right, thank you for watching Teachers.
You don't even know where you at.
Thank you for calling.
Oh,
They ain't calling. Thank you for watching The Real Teachers of Atlanta. I'm gonna let the ladies take over and say bye.
No dialogue.
Ty?
Don't even worry about it. You can find me at Ty P. Smith on IG.
You can find
at Joy,
Nikki,
you
you
look
can
like-
find me at I am_Nikki D.
Joya Carter. Coleman, what?
Instagram sincere_Coco.
9.
Schoolboys Lawn Service. Instagram. Also.
You haven't even developed yet.
Bye.
That works. The doctor say 5 years old.
Bye. Cut the show.
Bye.
Cut the show. Cut the show.